Thank you so much for joining us today for this vegan cooking demo with Chef Debbie Adler. For those of you who don't know, Debbie is a plant-based chef, bakery owner, and the award-winning cookbook author of the critically acclaimed The Mediterranean Plate, Sweet and Savory and Free, and Sweet Debbie's Organic Treats. Debbie is a plant-based cooking and baking instructor, and her popular online courses, Plant Powerful Life GPS, Quintessential Health 360, and the Complete Plant Powerful Weight Loss System have been taken by hundreds of students worldwide. She's been interviewed on NBC's Nightly News, ABC 7's Eyewitness News, CBS Los Angeles, and the national superstation WGN. Debbie has been featured in the Los Angeles Times and on NPR's radio show Here and Now. Her recipes have been published in national publications, as well as on popular websites and blogs such as Cosmopolitan, One Green Planet, The Kitchen, Chic Vegan, Austin Food Magazine, and Self. So Debbie, thank you so much for coming on our show.
Oh, thank you, Emma. It's fun to be here.
Awesome. Well, I will let you go ahead and show us how to make these delicious falafel waffles.
Well, thank you, Emma. This is a treat for me as well because, it takes a lot for me to grab my waffle iron, but I am so excited to show this to you because I figure, people eat falafels in a pita, they eat it on a plate, in a salad, but I don't think many people think of having falafel waffles. And it's one of my favorite recipes from the Mediterranean Plate, which just came out recently, very recently. So that's the book it's in. And it's all Mediterranean recipes inspired by Mediterranean. And of course, it's vegan, it's plant-based, gluten-free, and SOS-free, meaning salt, oil, and sugar-free. So to make the falafel waffles, we're going to start with a vegan buttermilk. So here I have some coconut milk. You could use any type of plant-based milk. You can use almond milk, cashew milk, rice milk, soy milk. And to make it buttermilk, you just add some apple cider vinegar and you let that sit while you're doing the other ingredients. So the first main ingredient is chickpeas. These are cooked chickpeas, no salt, just cooked chickpeas. You can use a can and that's perfectly fine. And that goes into a food processor. The whole mixture is made in the food processor, so you don't have to do any work. This is some miso. Now, I like to use mellow white miso because it's very mild. It's actually, it tastes like what it sounds. Mellow, it's white. It's just, it doesn't overtake the taste of the falafels. Next, I have up some onion powder and garlic powder. I have some, in the book, it says flaxseed, some ground flaxseed. This is just to hold it together. And I didn't have flaxseed, but I had chia seed. So I ground up my chia seed, as you can see here, and this works as well. It's just as good. It binds and it's very, very healthy. It has omega-3s. It's high in calcium. It's really very healthy. So the chia seed is just as good as flaxseed. I have here some cumin and coriander. It's a nice spice that really adds a lot of depth of flavor to the falafel waffles. I have some baking powder and baking soda that gives it some lift, which I need in my face, but it does it for the falafel waffles. And finally, we have here some chickpea flour, and we're going to just add that in as well. And I think our buttermilk is ready. I'm just going to start doing the mixture right now before I add them and see what we have. Just get this going here. Okay, very good. Now we have our mixture. As you can see, it's very smooth. And we're going to just put it onto our already heated waffle iron. And that's it. And you have your falafel waffles. I'm just going to put maybe like a third of a cup on each grid and wait approximately 6 minutes. You have to read the directions or maybe just check every so often to make sure they're not burning. And they come out beautifully. You really don't have to oil the grid. The heat lets it release perfectly. So we're going to do 4. As of now, we're just going to do 4 like that, and then I'll close it. And while it's cooking, I'm going to make a drizzle. And the drizzle is a coconut nectar drizzle, and it's just some tahini, which I have here. I'm just going to, whoopsie daisy. I'm going to add it to a little pour. Okay. And I use some coconut nectar. Now, coconut nectar is, it's like maple syrup, but it is from the coconut tree, and it is actually a little bit healthier. It's low glycemic, which means it doesn't spike your blood sugar the way that maple syrup does. And it also is extracted at low temperatures as opposed to the high temperatures that they extract maple syrup with. And that means that it retains the enzymes, the minerals, the vitamins that are good for you. So that's why I use coconut nectar. It is now luckily in a lot of stores, so you don't really have to search too high and low, or you can get it online. That's where I get a lot of my things. It's not a problem to find. And here I have a lemon, freshly squeezed, just maybe 2 or 3 tablespoons, and then just a tiny bit of water. And then that will be your drizzle for when the falafel waffles are ready. And I'm just going to mix it up. And then when it's ready, I have a nice little, I don't know if you can see it without me pouring it out on the table again, but that's it. And you could just use plain maple syrup or coconut nectar, whatever you want. And then for toppings, I like to use savory toppings because this is sweet. This is a sweet drizzle. So, sometimes I put cucumbers and tomatoes and capers, and then I put the sweet. So it's a savory and sweet combination, which is delicious. So I think we're going to wait a few more minutes until this is really done, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like. So if Emma has a question or somebody in the audience has a question, I'm open.
Great. Yeah, I can't wait to see how they turn out. Sounds delicious. Well, while we wait for those to cook, I was wondering if you wanted to share a little bit about your plant-based journey and how you got into this lifestyle.
Well, it started a while back when I had my son, who was born with severe food allergies. And I started to do a lot of research about food allergies and why are people being born with food allergies. And I came across the China study by Dr. T. Colin Campbell. And that was a study done in China 30 years in the making. It was a very big study where they wanted to see the effect of casein, which is the protein found in milk, on people. Well, how does milk protein affect people? And the result after 30 years was, it ain't good. It's not good for us. It causes cancer, especially prostate and ovarian cancer. So this was the result of this study. And that explained maybe why my son was highly allergic to the casein in the milk. That's why he anaphylaxed when he was 1. And so that was my journey. And I didn't turn back. After I read that, I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense. And then I was totally hooked. I went to a conference where he was speaking, Dr. T. Colin Campbell, and a lot of his colleagues who were plant-based, other doctors were speaking there as well, Dr. Esselstyn and Dr. Greger, all the people we know and love. And I was hooked. And that is my journey. I started creating recipes for, plant-based. And I was asked by the publisher of the China study to write a cookbook. And that was my cookbook, Sweet, Savory, and Free. And And that's it. And then I continue to teach how to do it. So as you see, these just came out perfectly,
Those look
after a
great.
few minutes. And I'm going to top mine with some capers, as you see here, just putting some capers on. And then I'm just going to pour my drizzle on top. And there you have it. You have a delicious meal. It doesn't even have to be breakfast. It could be lunch. It could be a dinner. It's a very delicious dish that you saw took no time at all. And, you could even use it as a sandwich holder. You don't have to use bread. You can use the falafel waffle and make a sandwich. So there you have it. You could take a bite, Emma, if you'd like. And
Delicious.
and that's it.
Great. I love how easy that was. I did not expect that to be so quick. So
I know. Well, most of my recipes are very, very quick. I'm just going to turn this thing off because it's getting hot. Yeah, it's that I like to make things that don't take a lot of time because people get really hung up on, oh my God, look at the ingredient list, forget it. They get very turned off very quickly because nobody has time for too much fussing. So I always am cognizant of that. And I always say, okay, easy. That's the only way I do it now because, with people's comments over the years, I understand there's very little time in people's day to be in the kitchen. So when something is this quick, people think, oh, I could do that. And that's it.
anything
Cheers.
that helps people not make excuses.
Right. No excuses. No excuses. This is it. This is like, I think it was like 5 minutes, and the prep was, it was so quick. So yeah. And like you saw, everything was done in this thing. No, you didn't have to mix with your hand, no elbow grease involved. And that's it. So everything is done by the food processor, and the waffle iron. And then very simple. And you have a falafel waffle. So it's very easy. And it comes, like I said, from my book, The Mediterranean Plate, which is on Amazon right now. And that's it. And if you want to email me, debbie@debbieadler.tv, you could get from me a digital copy. There's no Kindle. So you could just email me and I could give you a link, and it's less expensive than the hard copy.
Okay, great. I'll make sure to share that in the description of wherever we post this video, as well as to your cookbook.
Oh, great.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on and showing us how to make those.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, it's like my pleasure to show people how easy it is. If anybody any questions, you could always contact me at that email because I'm happy to help you. And then if you want to get 18 free recipes just to start out, you can go to my website, which is www.debbieadler.tv, and opt in to get the 18 free recipes. And you could get started right away if you're on your journey, if you're just starting, or even if you're in it for many years, you can enjoy those recipes as well.
Great. Thank you so much. Our community is going to love that. So.
Oh, good. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.